Well, to other stories now, the government has announced the suspension of all debt service payment under certain categories of external debt pending an orderly restructuring of the affected obligations. The suspension will include the payment on Eurobonds, commercial term loans, and on most bilateral debt. The government announced a debt restructuring program as a condition to secure $3 billion from the IMF in a bailout support. My colleague George Weafe of Joy Business has details of this suspension, and he is with me in studio. George, tell us about the suspension of payment under the certain categories of external debt.
Just a little background. You remember that earlier on, or maybe just earlier this month, the government announced that it is embarking on what they call the debt exchange program for domestic bondholders. Now, before this announcement, we understand that there had been some engagement behind the scenes, engaging these external bondholders on what government is going to do with respect to their own set of package as to whether there will be a debt exchange program or a debt cancellation and all those things. But before that actually takes place, government is saying that they are freezing the interest payments on all these external bondholders as more of a relief before they come to the actual structure in terms of what is going to happen to them. So this is the first part of a series of actions that will be taken on those external investors or external institutions that are holding government bonds. And this is part of...
So before, but if you're having a freeze, do I take it that they've had an agreement with the people to say that we agree freeze?
There's some informal engagement that has gone on that has led to this announcement. Before this, they had an external international asset management firms that was actually engaging the solicitors of all these institutional bondholders outside the country. So if I should make an intelligent guess or a hazard guess, it appears that has been done before this announcement is coming out. And also this is part of a broader program announcement or program engagement that is supposed to take place that before that staff level agreement, but that didn't come. So it appears that there's work in continuum. And if you look at the IMF program, the critical thing that it's trying to do is to deal with our debt situation. So if this one goes through and you look at our debt numbers and how much government is servicing on debts alone, that will give government some relief, and they'll be able to use those savings that they are making to carry out other infrastructure projects. And also what this is also going to do, if it works out finally that they are freezing or also doing a similar debt exchange for these external bondholders. Now, it will again convince other investors who want to engage government when it comes to investing in government securities that government now has the space, and therefore that external inflow that we are looking forward to is going to come.
Does this have any implication on domestic debt?
No, this is just separate for the external bondholders, and they are going to have their own kind of exchange program, let me put that in quote, that government is going to roll out. But for this freeze, it doesn't affect multilateral institutions like the World Bank and the IMF, but these are, it looks like it's targeting those institutional bondholders who bought into the Eurobonds and those who also bought into our local bonds and all the rest. That is what is going to affect them. All these things, government is saying that by the year 2028, you should be able to have brought your debt stock down to almost about 55%. So all these things, and the negotiations hasn't been smooth. I mean, it's been a tough one engaging these offshore investors about this. But having come out with this announcement, we understand that there have been some preliminary arrangements or deals reached with these institutional investors. That is why this announcement has come.